Welcome everybody. My name is �W𝐎𝐿𝐼𝐍𝐆 and you can call me Work Master. It's an amazing Monday evening. We are live on the Monday night mentorship call. Today we are talking about adjusting to changes and challenges in business versus reacting, and we have a very special guest, a couple, our $1 million earners, Crown Diamond Appliance and mentors, Chris and Tammy, to share a very wonderful and special message with us. If you have not subscribed, check out a lot of trainings here. You need to subscribe and like and follow, whatever it is, so that you not miss any training that is yet to come. All right, so we are going to start now. Type where you're tuning in from and share the link with your team members. We'll be back in 20 seconds. Alright, welcome back. I promise you're going to have a lot of value from our Crown Diamonds today. Change is always happening in our lives, whether we like it or not.
And whether we realize it or not, there is always change. Our bodies are constantly generating new cells to replace the old ones. As you know, stock prices are rising and falling. It's just a guaranteed thing. And throughout our lives, we go through a lot of personal changes. Sometimes we choose for them to happen, whilst other times they are beyond our control. With both of these types of changes, we as humans have an instinctive reaction to them. But it's how we respond to these changes after our initial reaction that determines how they affect our lives.
Okay, let's talk about some of the examples of change and how to adjust to change. Now, we are fortunate to have our Crown Diamond Appliance here with us today to talk about adjusting versus reacting, and what to do when there are changes, when there are challenges, when there are dark moments. So without wasting much time, Chris and Tammy.
Okay, folks, well, welcome to this segment training, part of the Success Cycle series called the Attitude. And the reason why I really invite everybody to be part of this and share this training, it's because it is really the foundation of your organization. It is not about the product. It is not about the money. It is part of the process, no question. Absolutely no question. I mean, nobody wants to work for free, and obviously people don't want to sell snake oil. So that's a given. We do have great products. We do have one of the best compensation plan out there, bar none. But the reason why your team will grow or implode has a lot to do with the way that you are handling objections and handling the challenges that you come across, or maybe even staying on a sideline and hoping that it's just going to go away,
or maybe not handling
exactly
situations
exactly
at all. Avoidance mode.
Avoidance mode, and that's usually a default for most people.
Yeah.
And the Success Cycle series attitude element, especially the element, the portion, the segment on adjusting versus reacting, and we'll expand on that in a minute, is absolutely critical. And I'm going to give you some examples without being specific, out of respect for, organizations and so forth. Often there are things that happen, and we know that new prices has created, for some people, a lot of concerns. And these concerns are very valid, very valid. But the core issue was not the price increase. It was the assumption that were made following the price increase. And these assumptions needed to be educated. And once it was educated, then people were more empathetic, is that the word, right? They were sympathizing, and not just sympathizing, understanding that it's the cycle of life. Inflation is something, it's part of our life. Right? I'm sure that every single one of you, and give me the thumbs up if you agree with that your grocery bill since COVID, post-COVID, has increased. Give me the thumbs up if that's correct. Okay, no hesitation. Everybody responded right away. Okay? Now, maybe some of you have certain things that you do and maybe it hasn't, but generally, we go to, what's that store, the health store that we go to on
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods,
Yeah.
right? There's one in Canada, there's one in the US, and we're a big fan of that. And the same things we're buying, it increased by $200. The same stuff, but our bill have increased by $200. Again, it's just a cycle of life due to the way we do business today and all of the challenges that's been brought forward that all companies have to deal with. So again, how do we resolve this? How did we adjust opposed to react? Right? Some of the leadership reacted big time out of fear. But what Tammy and I decided to do is we started to educate, prepare, instead of...
That's the key,
Yeah,
is to prepare people.
Instead of having people looking at their bill, hey, why am I paying so much more? You know what I mean? So, and then everybody understands what's going on. So now people have been educated, and in some cases, we needed to do some Zoom sessions, some webinar sessions with, some officials to kind of share some important facts and also some evidence and also some credible information for people to be able to assess the problem. So all of this is part of this training segment called the attitude training. And when we talk about attitude, we're not just talking about a good attitude and a bad attitude. It actually envelopes a lot of segment. And if you happen to be on Facebook Live, please do post your comment there. I can't respond to it right now because I'll be distracted because we need to be focused on this training, and we will respond to it. But if you have any comments, questions, feel free to post it. If you're on Facebook here, on Zoom, through the message section, if you have comments, situation you're facing, a question, how we would handle a certain situation that you might be facing, by all means, there's nothing that we haven't come across. So don't be shy to share that information. If you
Every single market that Chris and I open, when we go into a new market, a lot of people are always asking, so what do you do? How do you get this started? We get all these questions continuously, especially some of you are tapping into new markets. So congratulations to you for that. The attitude training is the very first training that we share with people, especially when it's a brand new market, because a lot of time everybody wants to be first. Everybody's excited. People have that fear of loss. So we come in there and share this, and we create this culture around a one max family. And there's going to be like little quarrels, like brother and sister little quarrels that'll go on. But we found that since we really focus on that every time we go into new markets, that the culture that's being created, it sustains it and it continues. So it's awesome to see that happening, because at the end of the day, we are a one max family. Is
the culture. And here's the thing that also to kind of underline some of the things that we talked about when it comes to culture. Your culture will be a reflection of the leadership, literally. Mm-hmm. If the leadership creates a culture of a bridge of communication and getting leaders to talk among each other, not to create walls and fear. If he talks to this leader, he might dislike this leader more than me. It's normal in this industry to feel that way. But don't fear this. I'm telling you. Focus on the solution when there's a problem. Focus on helping your team when they need help. In the same time, don't be, as we say often, don't mother too much your associates. Let them discover for themselves how to solve the problem. For example, you're raising a child and the child made a mess. But don't leave him on the mess, right? Clean it up, help out, give him instructions, and then from there, let them go. So if someone comes across with a situation, like just this morning, someone is having a problem because they made a mistake on their address when they signed up. And they come to me to resolve this. And I say, why can't you just go to the office? That was an associate, for example, in Ghana, and resolve it. Because if I get involved, it becomes political, and it seems like I have an agenda to push something through. And it's not the case. It's a very simple process. So my suggestion is go back to your leader and ask him to help you there. And whole and behold, the problem was solved. But naturally, being unexperienced before, I would have done everything because I would have want to make sure that the associate was happy with me. It's not that I don't want to help, I don't want him to be happy with me. Is I know that if I do all the work all the time, solving problems all the time, eventually you become a team of 100 and 1,000. What do you do when you have 250,000? What about more? I mean, you won't be able to live a normal life. It's just not going to be possible. And everybody's used to you resolving all their problems. And because you can't handle them all, that's usually what happens. You get into a plateau. So that's kind of the reasoning behind this training. And I wanted to give you a context before we begin, because it is not a long training, but it is an important training.
And it's part of getting people started right, too.
You go ahead.
So what is your attitude towards everything, right, in your business? And you got to always look in the mirror, because often we tend to look outside of ourselves when it comes to any situations. And we talked about that reflection, right? So look at yourself. What are you doing to engage in your business? What are you doing to your attitude towards things that are happening? Are you a hider? Are you a person that gets involved and helps people understand situations? Or are you maybe adding more value? So always look at that. How you see yourself is really how you see other people. So you want to always look at that.
From my point of view, this is absolutely correct. Tammy is dead on. Is what you see is what you get. And this is very important. So when I work with an associate that is always doubting, well, you will find that a reflection of the results will have that too. And the team members will also have doubt. And it's a chain reaction. So very important here is what you think about, what you focus on, what you see expands. That's why we talk so much about personal growth. Educate yourself. Don't treat network marketing like a shoebox operation whenever I have a minute to do. Because this is a multi-million-dollar corporation. I am not kidding. It is worth that and then some, because it is growing. So the fact here is, how do you perceive yourself will reflect in your results? And this is the message here. Do take the time to improve and evolve. Very important. And moving forward, this is something that I'm sure many of you will relate. How do you wake up in the morning? How do you feel? What are the very first thoughts in your head when you open your eyes and wake up? So that is something that I had to work with. And in previous trainings years ago, and even recently throughout the years, I repeat that, I used to listen to a 2-minute video that gave me that sense of inspiration, that sense of belief that I was able to and I was capable. I know that many of you have seen a post that Tammy put in some of our groups. And if you don't know what it is and you're looking for what it is, let us know in the Facebook Live or here in a message, and we'll share it with you.
Yeah, the book, The Power.
It's a reflection of a movie that was created in 2006 called The Secret. And folks, at the end of the day, this is not political. It is common sense. And the fact here is, I remember every morning when I was in debt up to my eyeballs and things weren't working well, and I was huffing and puffing trying to build my business, I always had this bad feeling in my stomach, which reflected in my thoughts. And every day I woke up with this uncomfortable feeling. Well, that uncomfortable feeling resulted in my results. And in 2006, it's in the book that we wrote, I do believe I mentioned the date there, this is when I woke up. Because it made me realize things that I never even thought about before. And that was, for me, that was the pinnacle. That was the changing point, not the pinnacle, the changing point that changed everything in my personal relationship, in my business, my finances. Everything changed. And everything was based on how I felt in the morning. And listen, we're not robots. We can't just say, think positive and you'll think positive. Absolutely not. We're human beings. So we are a creature of habits. Something has to be happening repetitively for us to start accepting something different, something new?
I think one good thing that you can do to have that great attitude is to write down some on a sticky note or whatever, whatever you want to see happen in that day, and put these notes where you can see them and repeat it. So, you have some positive affirmation of having a great day. We all want to have great days. We all want to have an abundance in our lives in every way, in our relationships and everything. We all want that. But often people will say their thoughts is what they don't want, and the words come out after the thought process happens, right? And that's when it's a spiral effect. So if you're constantly putting out greatness on what you want to accomplish in your life, and treat it like you already have it, then you're going to have an amazing day. You're going to have an amazing life. If you really master this part, you're going to have an amazing life. You're going to have moments. There's no question. We get our moments. We're tired, right? Sometimes things happen. We've been out of ATP for 3 days, and it really kicks in. It affects our energy. So the key thing is to be in the moment as often as you can, to recognize the things that you think and the things that you speak. And if it's not serving you in a great way, just change the words, change the thoughts, change the words. The feelings start to change and you just start feeling better. So this is a practice, okay? You got to practice doing this stuff and be in the moment as often as you can. So you will have more in your life when you put out great things that you want in your desires.
It's interesting. If you're like me, you're listening to what Tammy and I are sharing here, and some of you may think that's hocus pocus. And coming from an engineering background, very technical, I assure you, it was not an easy step, an easy process. I mean, you look at the guy 20 years ago and today, it is not the same person at all. But I can tell you, if you focus on some of the things we're telling you, it will speed up the process on whatever it is that you desire in life. I am not kidding. See, the right attitude when it comes to the industry of network marketing, there's a lack of belief there from most people, because they don't believe they can achieve it because they haven't got the results yet. And people tend to unfortunately base their reality on what's happening today. And it's common sense. I get it. I understand. And that's the irony of it. So what's very important here is you need to, as Tammy stated, see it as if it's accomplished and you're having exactly what you're looking for. You guys hear us now, doing extremely well in maps, extremely well. But if I can take you back in time, when I was so tired and discouraged of my results, I did not have a mentor that was telling me, stay the course, stay the course, stay the course, keep moving, you can do this.
We had each other.
We were actually, that's not really true, because Tammy eventually, we came together, and this is the reason why we made a life together, because we supported each other's, and you don't need a wife or a girlfriend or boyfriend to make this happen.
No, your team members.
It could be team members, it could be an upline.
Support
it could
leaders.
Exactly. But a support system is important, right?
Even a motivational video. Sometimes people aren't available, right? So listen to something that's just going to put you at another level of thinking, and so that you can have a fabulous day. So that's what's important.
And it says, and this is important here, the richest people in the world look for and build network. Everyone else look for jobs. Just listening to the TV, and from 2016 to 2020 and even 21. What did you hear? Looking for work, looking for job, more job, more job, more job, more job, more jobs. It sounds great. Does it really solve the problem? No, it's going to come back again because the world is changing. Who ever thought that in 2020 COVID would hit? The whole world would change and turns upside down. Now everything is virtual. So jobs, everything is different. So the fact here is networks, building your network is your net worth. And that's what you need to focus on. Don't be afraid or shy. So the fact is, some of you never utilize third-party credibility, ever. And it's such an important point to help you validate the industry, the profession of network marketing. If your belief is not there, that's okay. Use someone who has a strong belief, not to sell them on it, but to help them to understand why your belief is so strong about it.
Yeah. And just so you know, that belief will grow because we've been through it before. You know, we understand the emotional roller coaster of our industry because it's a business and people have to understand how to build this business. That's why trainings are so important, and to go out there and practice and get better at it. Not everybody is going to see it. And you have to control the emotion. It's okay if they don't see it. You know, often they don't see it in the moment. And if you have a great relationship that you build over time, then they might see it later on, especially in times like this, right? So that just brings me to, you know, build this business from your heart. And people can read this so easily. When you're prospecting, they can read it. When you're working with your team members, they can read it. When you're standing in front of a crowd on stage, they can read it. So work from your heart. When you genuinely care about people, it comes across all the time. Okay, so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just work from your heart and grow.
You know, what's really important as you build your business on that point is often people are so focused on the financial prize and that's all they think about. And the challenge is sometimes that could be the problem. Now, trust me, I'm financially aware, big time. But when I work with my team, and I'm not saying you're doing that, I'm telling you what we're doing here. I am so driven, and I don't want to say the word concern, it's not the right word. I'm so aware of the challenge that people go through because we went through it. And I'm so driven to help them see the big picture. That's my real focus, is to help them see the big picture, what we're doing, what we represent here. And eventually what happens is people feel that. You don't have to worry. You know that every single month, I know that's going to sound ridiculous, I don't worry about my volume. I mean, would you agree with that? I don't check.
We just focus on
I
helping.
truly do not check. Is it important to check? Yes, it is. I'm not saying not to do that. It's because I know where we are, and we do have an extensive organization, and I get that. But even at the beginning, I'm so focused on making sure that the teams are trained on presenting, they have the right tools, the questions are answered, and they have the right environment for them to thrive. And last month, we had the biggest check we've ever seen. These are
did a lot of Zoom sessions, you know, working with people with the emotion. See, this is all part of it. You know, we did lots of sessions last month. It was probably our biggest month of really putting a lot into it. Calling personal associates, making sure that they're following up with people. This is all part of it. And that's the heart-centered part of building this business, is to get out there and help people. And when you do that, great things come your way. So knowing that, just go out and serve. It's that simple. If you're focused constantly on few points here and there and all of this stuff, then it's all about energy. And energy matches energy. Just focus on service. Service to people leads to greatness. We all know this.
And the thing is, let people evolve. Don't try to correct every single little things that you feel are not right. It does not have to be perfect. I'm telling you. So let people evolve. Let people, because if you constantly try to correct your team leaders or your team members in saying the right things and doing the right things and making sure this is perfectly done, you know what happens? They become self-conscious and even insecure in doing the work in fear of, I'm going to do it wrong again.
People can't be you. You are you. You are unique. As long as people have the message of what they need to deliver, they deliver it in the way that is who they are. And, with their own heart and thoughts and, emotion towards service to people. So don't be something that you're not. Of course, we always want to grow and we always want to become better. I remember when I first started network marketing, I saw this lady on stage. Some of you might know her. Her name is Lisa Grossman. I remember my very first meeting, sitting in the back of the room, ponytail, tracksuit. That's Tammy. And I saw this lady get up on stage, and I remember saying to myself, I want to be her. And of course, I grew myself and I built up my confidence. And I remember in a hotel room hanging out with Lisa Grossman. It was like, wow, and we were just having normal conversation. I told her that. And she says, you became you, Tammy. And I'm like, whoa. And it's true. You see things that people do and you like. It's okay to copycat, right? On things that they say, but be you, be your best you. And that's all part of attitude.
Absolutely. And, in moving forward, and I know everybody knows that, and I know that I'm speaking to the choir here, but it's important that it is still said, is the attitude of righteousness behind closed doors when nobody sees what you're doing. Nobody knows what you're doing. Time will promote you or expose you. You cannot defy the power of time because you can't remember what you did a year ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago, especially if there are things that are repeated over time. Integrity is doing the right thing when no one is looking. And this could be not just your action and what you do, but what you say to others. The power of the word is way more powerful than a punch. I'm telling you, the power of the word could lift someone or break someone. That's how powerful your word is. So be mindful. And you know what I'm talking about? Not your downline, yourself. What do you say to yourself when you go to bed? When you wake up in the morning? When you mess up? And trust me, I'm not perfect. When I mess up, I get angry. It's just life, but I do. And I say things to myself. And I repeat, and then suddenly I say, what am I saying? What am I saying? Then I stop. I say, that's not true. That's absolutely not true. I'm literally having a discussion with myself when this happens. Why? Because I'm aware. I'm aware. So when I'm talking about doing the right thing and say the right thing and the power of the word, it's not just what you say to your downline, but what do you say to yourself? Often I see people do the right things, but then you speak with them and everything they say contradicts the things that they want to do or the things that they're doing. And it's like a positive and a negative. One neutralize the other. Okay? So the fact here is that you have, is that the right thing I would say? Yeah, I would say that. I think you understand my message. Maybe that's not the right example, but what's happening is that if you do the right things, but you say the wrong things, you neutralize. And that could be the reason why you don't ever get what you're really looking for. Because whatever you project out there, you contradict yourself all the time. So it's constantly neutralized, day after day, year after year. I'm telling you, this book called The Power is a powerful book.
Yeah.
You know, just very quickly on this quick topic, back in 2006, what I didn't tell you guys, and I was so discouraged, I used to literally pray to God, says, I am desperate. I need help. This is not working. I try and it crashes. I try again, my team leaves. I try again and they quit. They don't show up. And I received this email, I remember. And I did not look at it for almost a year. I just kept it. I don't know why, I just kept it. And I don't know why, I just kept it. But then I forgot about it. And then I started cleaning up my emails. You know, sometimes we start cleaning up our mess because there's so many emails that we just haven't, try to clean up our inbox. And I came across it. And I started watching and I saw the 2-minute trailer. I said, wow, that caught my curiosity. And then I paid the $5 and I saw the 90-minute version of it. It was called The Secret. It's not a secret anymore. In fact, it became so political that, it's not something I talk about often because some people, they tend to confuse the message in ways that I don't want to bother. But the point here is the message made me realize my true meaning and what I was worth. And that's when in 2006, everything changed. The way I thought about myself, as I said earlier, my relationship, my results financially, my business, everything changed. 2006 for me was a turning point. So the fact here is what you say to yourself is so powerful. And that's why we spend time on that. It's extremely important that you keep that in mind.
Yeah, there's so many angles that we can go with all of this. So teamwork and respect. It doesn't matter whose team is part of whose team. What's really important to really have that mindset of one max family. And you know what? Sometimes you're going to have, we get randomly people contacting us and asking us questions or support. And we even get random people that ask us, if we can sponsor them. Like we get random stuff and we just want to make sure that everything is done the right way. But going back to team respect and teamwork is we are a one max family. Okay, together we all achieve more. If somebody contacts you, don't say, "Oh, whose team are you part of?" Because it doesn't make somebody feel good because especially new people, they don't know. I mean, we talk to new people all the time, and we just give them, guide them to active team, invite them to our trainings, make them part of the family. And no matter what, okay? So if you ever have that situation, plug them in. Eventually you get to know them. You find out who their sponsor is and stuff like that. But also in the conversations, you might say something like, hey, listen, I'm sure that that the person that's working with you can also share that information with you. They may say, well, my sponsor quit. Oh, okay, no worries. There's always people within the organization that can support you as well. And I'm here. Just want to let you know, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. So the people feel like they're part of something bigger. Okay.
So when it comes to teamwork and respect, I want to give you a concrete example. I want you guys to know that what we tell you, we live. We don't just say it to sound pretty here. Jasmine, you're on the call here. On the Zoom session. And there was a person, and this went on for about almost a month. This lady says, listen, I used to order Max products. I was sponsored in Max. I had no idea what country she was from, nothing. It was just an email and a name. And I said, and I kept saying that, have you been in Max? It's not what I said. That was another case. It was, I said, who sponsored you? Who brought you into the business? And then she turned around and she didn't really answer the question. And I think she wanted me to handle, do it, get her involved and for me to take care of her, I believe, at the beginning. And I said to myself, again, if it's someone in my team, I'm going to step on their toes, and that's a lack of respect. Eventually, she mentioned she's in Hamilton. Oh, Hamilton. Okay. And then she mentioned, I think Jasmine was somewhere in the upline. Oh, okay. You see, it would have been easy. I mean, I don't know how long she was inactive, but it was easy for me to just grab her. No. See, this is what I mean by righteousness, respect. And then I sent a message. Jasmine took care of her, and then Jasmine responded and says, oh, see, it's all taken care of. I'm assuming she's probably back on the product and she's happy. You see? And I think this went on for almost a month, like weeks. So the point here is teamwork and respect is really, really important. It takes a long time to build a reputation, and it takes only one thing to break it, to break the trust. So, and the other thing is company. The company had made huge sacrifices in 2020 to deal with the COVID, to keep it transparent to the associate. Huge sacrifices. You don't know about it? Just go back to the active team and select videos and select Go for Diamond calls and watch the call that we did with Joe and John Winterholler last week. Great call. Mm-hmm. And Joe opened up and was very transparent. And I asked him to really, the team needs to know what the company's doing for us, the commitment. So when things don't go well for you, don't blame the company, partner with the company. Same thing with your upline. You're not happy about something? Talk about it. Don't talk behind their back and say things. It's not productive. It's going to reflect on your leadership and your results. And it could be also the reason why your team may not grow, right? Your downline. I'll give you an example of how I handle the situation. Crossline. These are people that are not in your team necessarily, right? For example, Anialdo, we're not part of the same team, but whenever he asks for me, I respond. And I respect him. So you see, this is very important. Sidelines, right? There's people that are, maybe, for example, any one of you have a right team and a left team. But someone on the right team is sidelined to someone on the left team. If they see you respect the way you speak towards other teams and other sidelines, it will be reflected on your leadership, and your downline will have the same respect. All of this is what will create an empire for your organization or implode when things gets difficult. And it finishes with one dream, one vision, one team, one mission. I mean, if you heard the presentation segment, in my case, what I share is the dream of doctors that caught the visions of our executive members of Max International, that created a company called Max, which created a team of associates around the globe sharing a message that created a mission because of the products and because of the income that are generated within families right now, improving people's health and so forth. So very, very important. I know there's a few messages there, Tammy, as you and I exchange, we can read them. So you go ahead.
All right. So guidance. Don't do this alone. Don't try and build this business alone. I know when people are new, they often feel like they're bothering you. I get that many times. People say, oh, I don't want to bother you. I know you're busy. No, please reach out. Send us a message, send us a WhatsApp, send us an email. We'll always get back to people. Okay. And that's the way you need to treat your business. Always, be there for people, because it is a roller coaster ride. Most people never been in business before, and they join network marketing and they don't know how to do this business or to handle the emotion of it all, right? So mentorship is critical. Always reach out. Don't always expect your mentor or your upline leader to do all the work on that. You got to come halfway. You got to share with them when you're having a difficult time. They can't guess, everybody's situation, right? So don't do this alone. Reach out. If you can't reach somebody else. You're on these platforms, you're seeing each other's names, you know each other through different platforms. Reach out. We will always find time to lift people up, and you'll do the same thing. And that's the key, is to find ways to elevate people, give them some advice, and mentor your core people. Okay, and then they'll go in and teach them to mentor their core people, and so on and so forth.
So again, these are the illustration of what a mentor tends to do, right? So keep that in mind. Tammy covered it all here. Very, very important is seek someone that can consult with you and help you deal with some challenges. But it's also important that when you bring a problem, try to suggest also a solution.
Yeah, bring us.
Don't just come into a problem. I remember way at the beginning, maybe it's my personality. When I bring a problem to the company, and Joe, I've mentioned that a few times, that's one of the things he appreciated, is I always bring a solution to the problem. And when you do that, the people that you work with or maybe mentoring you tend to respect that. I don't want to say respect you more, because it doesn't mean that they don't respect you. I'm just saying that it incites them to want to help you solve the problem, because they see you taking an action and not just saying, that's not working, this is too expensive, blah, 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 blah. And you listen to that, it's just, okay. I mean, so important. And remember, it's same thing with your organization, right? Your organization will duplicate what you do. So be proactive when you come across a challenge. Think of a solution, because you may have a solution, but you may think your solution has no value, and maybe it's a solution that should be implemented. Again, it was just food for thought on that particular point.
And help them find a solution too, by asking them questions. So you're not always giving them the answer, but in conversation, they'll come up with a solution, some things that they can do to implement to make it better. So work with people on that. And of course, one of the big things is the adjust versus react. And often it's better just to bite your lip till it bleeds when there's a situation, and just 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? And just listen. Often just the listening part will be the solution. Often, people just need to dump sometimes. And so what you don't want to do is react. When things come my way, most of the time I'm going to step away. Well, not when I'm in conversation with somebody, but if it's an email or a text or whatever, I'm going to step away. I'm going to think about it instead of reacting immediately, because often when we react immediately, it's not really the best solution. So we've all done this. We've all made mistakes. We're all human beings, but learn to step back a bit, think about the process, come with a solution, and you'll find that things will go a lot smoother.
I wanted to share where a little picture is something. That's one of the pictures that Tammy took just a week ago, 2 weeks ago,
the photo
3 weeks
shoot.
ago,
Yeah,
the photo shoot.
Yeah.
So I wanted to brag a little bit with one of her pictures we shot. But there's a line that I thought really represents well how we feel about things. Life at any time can be difficult. Life at any time can be easy. Good or bad. There are seasons on life. It all depends upon how you take on life and adjust to these seasons. In other words, there will be moments that will be difficult. It's how you react to those challenges that defines you as a leader. Very important. There was a team of mine that was very upset this past week. I mean, very upset. And there was a lot of assumption made with the new pricing. And what I decided to do, despite it felt like doomsday, But then I realized that it's fear and misunderstanding. How do we solve this problem? By creating a community to communicate. So my solution when I come across a problem that is common is due to this wonderful technology, which we use Zoom to gather the leadership. Not everybody, because a lot of people will react, and it's also a question of experience and maturity and so forth. So I brought the leadership on board, and we had a call, and we had a great, fantastic call that was educational, and we were even able to improve a few things that normally probably would not have happened. And at the end of the day, everybody was very content. They understand that there's an adjustment period, but they were content. And that has created another wave that is, I believe, will become in a major momentum very soon.
Mm-hmm.
So, but someone else could have reacted differently. You could have just, you know what, this is over my head. It's too hot. I'm just going to let it sit and just take the sideline and see how it, you know, where the dice falls, right? But I truly believe as a leader is we want to create an environment for people to evolve and to learn. And I truly believe that we've been able to accomplish that. So
and to feel safe. You know, I think that's important as well. By the time, you know, a lot of these sessions that we had with so many people over the last few weeks, and even with the virtual office, you know, there's been stuff. There's new things happening. There's change happening all the time. That is how a company evolves. You want to have a strong foundation of a company, right? So you want to be able to adjust and adapt to all the situations that come your way and find solutions. You know, if you find that the product is a little bit expensive, then go get a couple customers. Step up your game this month. Get a couple customers, sign some new associates so that you can offset that personal consumption. You know, there's so many things that you can do. And yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for the wonderful comments, by the way, on the picture. I mean, you know, I'm shy. I'm camera shy. I know it sounds ironic here, but I'm actually camera shy and self-conscious, and it's her that really pushes me to. She says, "Don't smile too much. You look like a freak." Or
I didn't say that. I said it doesn't look natural. You know, oh, he put words in my mouth.
I'm just kidding, right? So, but you see, these are my insecurities, right? So we all have them. But you see, the fact is that it turned out to be wonderful. But you know what's really important here, folks? Yes, Bill, shy, trust me. I'm camera shy. I'm just a real good actor. I'm an introvert. And that's why I was an engineer behind a desk for so many years.
I think he does it more for me than...
Well, it was important to her. For me, it's whatever. But I know we need it when we do calls and we do events and need pictures. And I can't keep taking pictures that are 10 years old because I'm getting older, right? So people have to see the real us. But anyway, the point here, what's important here is when it comes to attitude, and we talked about is growing. And it's good to have a personal self-evaluation. And, you know, take the time and just kind of evaluate your results. Because if you don't sit back and evaluate your results and you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and you get no results,
it's exhausting.
Then
we've been there.
Yeah. And it's not that you just need to find your space. You need to find your niche, right? So if, for example, you have been doing, I don't know, some videos or whatever, and you're looking to get some attention and you do certain things, you get no attention again, and then suddenly you do something else and you get more attention doing that, well, you got a clue. So adjust to that. And also some things that are very important is personal growth. We talked about it earlier, right? You need to educate yourself in different kind of philosophies and books and, you know, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's something I still use. It's interesting. Even some of my greatest students, Dr. Bright, one of them, who stated one of the quotes of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People where learn to understand, then be understood, right? So that is very, very important. And I've been repeating these things for years. So a lot of the things that we share now, it's our voice because we've been living it for years. But once upon a time, it was new and we adapted, right? We adapted the information. So you're looking for, let's say you want to be a great presenter. You don't need to be perfect English or perfect French. I'm telling you, people don't care. What they care about is how you make them feel when they listen to you. So the fact here is if you read some of these books, it will give you insight that could actually trigger something in them that could get them to move forward, right? So personal growth, is very, very, very important. And your downline will actually see. I had some comments from some of our great top leadership that commented on how we've evolved from the past 7 years, right? So this is important. So you don't want to kind of stay dormant in your business and nothing ever changes. It's very important. People watch, people see what you do. Anything else we're going to add on this before we move on?
Well, if you're actively in the game building your business, you're going to grow. I think the best practice is just to go do it, and be comfortable just going out there and connecting to people. It's so funny that people come into network marketing and they become really strange and they have to have all these scripts and all this stuff. And people know that's not you. I know because I remember when I first started and we were being trained and we were told what to do and all this stuff. But then I realized it's not working for me. And then I'm connecting with people, just connect, right? And then I got so much better results. So understand that when you're building your business, don't try and be something that you're not. People will know. I mean, it's all going to come across, right? But obviously, you want to have an idea of what you're talking about. Have some key points of things that you want to come across, and then be yourself. Be your authentic self, because that's what people are buying. Yes, you're going to learn a ton of stuff from reading. Audio books work really well for me because we're always on the go. So don't not learn. Find a way that you can still learn, even if you got a crazy schedule like us.
And the last thing on that slide, you can see the quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. Quadrant 1, it will get you old very fast. Stress. And you're constantly managing crisis and issues and problems. And often, in our case, it falls into money, volume not high enough, and things are happening. We didn't tell our team about the prices. He didn't prepare. And people are freaking out and angry when it could have been avoided.
Yeah. You don't want to avoid the situations. You want to handle them and then move on.
And that's my point, is focus.
Yeah.
Number 2 is you need to do the activities. If you're not happy with your financial situation when it comes to your max compensation plan results, you need to understand where are you focusing most of your time. And if your time that you're focusing is doing exactly what you're happy about and you're grateful and you're great with that, perfect. Keep doing it. But if you're not happy with the current income situation, it could be that you're spending way too much time doing things that do not contribute towards that goal. So you might be living most of your time on quadrant number 4. You are wasting your time doing a lot of activities that are not in line with what you're trying to reach and achieve in life. Right? So you got to limit the wasted time. And number 3 is avoid the distractions, the interruptions. That's the reason where Tammy talked about, and I know she's doing a training on the scheduling aspect. It's really important that you schedule yourself like a CEO in your business, the president of your business. Be the owner of your business, not the employee that is just waiting for a paycheck and the clock to hit the deadline for me to go home attitude. So you want to avoid these kind of distractions. Focus on the elements that are money-making activities. What are money-making activities? Prospecting, that's money-making activities. The prospecting will result into some invitation. The invitation will result into some follow-up. And the follow-up will result into some customers or associates or both.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very important.
The best way to balance that is the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of your time should be on money-making activities. 20% of your time should be on the learning process, especially when you're new, you're spending your time learning, right?
And that's the point of this slide, where take action now, folks. Don't wait next week, tomorrow, later. These are all distractions on quadrant three.
Mm-hmm.
Do the activities now. Don't wait till later. Very important. You don't have a list right now, start. That chicken list, every one of you has probably at least 10 people on your chicken list. You need help on what to tell them, what to say? Let us know. Let your upline know. Let us give you a few pointers. In fact, better, go to the training on prospecting, inviting. For the time being, the trainings that are currently there contain great information for you to give you some insights on doing these things. Building your lists. Lots of ideas. They might be a little bit old. It's before the 2020, but still, we've been talking about online approach for quite a while.
Yeah.
Okay? So very, very important is take action now. And as you are moving forward, very important is gratitude is the foundation of everything. The more grateful you are, the more it is that you're going to have. I cannot stress this enough. This is a big message in the power, which is a reflection of the secret.
Yeah.
It's all about love. It's all about being grateful. And think of the thing every morning, be grateful for waking up and being alive. You know, we take this for granted, but I'm telling you, when you're at a deathbed, you'll think and remember these moments. So let me just stop the screen sharing for a moment here. And this,
a grateful heart is truly a magnet to miracles. There was a time, we've all been through dark times in our lives. And as I go back and reflect on some of the things that were dark for us, I know, especially for me personally, throughout my journey in life, I wasn't in a grateful state. I was in an angry state. I was in a blaming state. And now I see this more than ever, especially when I'm connecting with people who are stuck like I've been in the past. So, it's really important to take time and help people get over these hurdles, because we're all human, right?
And folks, listen, we want to thank you for the wonderful feedback. I really, really enjoy it when you're taking the time to comment and chat and share your feedback. You have no idea how valuable that is. As I always say, your voice matters more than you know. So thank you for that. I hope that you got some insight from this training. I know that many of you know us very well. You've heard us repeating things over and over and over, but don't be blinded by the simplicity of what we're telling you, because it is powerful, very, very powerful. And sometimes when we hear something from the same people, it's like a brother or a sister or, a father or whatever, a mother, we tend to kind of get immune to it, right? What I'm telling you is just humble yourself on the importance of what we shared here today. It's really important. And go back and listen to this training again. And that's the key here. And that's what's really, really, really important. So everybody listen, I want to thank you again for your time. And I look forward to our next call on next Monday. There's no holiday next Monday, right? No, I think everything's fine. So everybody have yourself a wonderful, wonderful evening.
All right, thank you so much, Tammy Gingras and Tammy Sellers. Guys, I told you that you're going to have a lot of value today, and you had it. So don't forget to like and subscribe to get more training. There's so much that we have done for you to enjoy. All right, I'll see you same time next week, 7 p.m. GMT on the Monday night mentorship call. Stay awesome, stay safe. I love you all. Mwah. Bye bye.